What's good in the hood, homies? Should we talk some boxing? I think we should. Hopefully everyone is doing very, very well. I did film yesterday. If you are very quick on the trigger, you would have noticed it. I filmed. I didn't really like the video. I took it down. So this could be a long one because I might be going over some stuff that I've already technically spoke about. But because I deleted the video, might as well talk about them again, right? By the way, I think, could be wrong here, but I think this is self-isolation day 60. Some of you will point out and say, Ade, but you've told us you've had people round. I had the Tyler round for a couple of days. I had a friend round. True, very true. But I would say for at least 90% of those days, I have been by myself. I will go to the supermarket, to the shop, but, you know, in and out, social distance and all that shit. Go out for a jog nearly every day. I bought a spin bike, by the way. I've actually bought a spin bike just because jogging, I still love jogging. I'm still going to continue to jog, but I feel like it's just fucking up my knees, especially on the pavement. My knees, my ankles, everything. I don't know if that's age or if that's just the footwear. I don't think it's the footwear, by the way. I think the footwear is pretty good, but I just think jogging on the pavement isn't great. So I've got a spin bike. I found one for really cheap. Like, I don't know if you guys have been trying to shop for these things, but it's like people are obviously inflating prices because there's no gyms. So they're going for like 300-400 quid. What a joke. Although I was tempted to sell mine because I got mine for 70 quid. And when I got there, I bought it off a female. When I got there, her husband was there, or boyfriend, I don't know. And you can see he was upset. He was like, oh, she got the price wrong. I don't know why she's done it that cheap. I was like, yep, I've already paid for it. Don't give me that lecture. I've already paid for it. So I was tempted to come back home, take a photo of it and put it up for 250 quid. I was tempted. But I sat on it. I pedaled. I enjoyed it. I'm keeping it. All right, where was I? Let's have a look. All right, let's start with this one. ERROL Spence. No tune-up. I want a top guy in my return. I thought this was already done and dusted. I thought you were fighting Danny Garcia. This is the problem now with social media. I don't know what is just Twitter talk, what is real, what isn't. I guess until we see contracts and a head-to-head or a face-off, you just don't know, do you? I don't know, maybe he's ready. I do like the fact that it has been a while now. When was that Errol Spence accident? I'll say that, I'm not sure actually. Was it? When was it? I'm guessing it was it not last year? Okay, October 2019. So by the time August runs round, it's like 10 months. I don't know. I don't know if that's enough for that kind of accident. I mean, again, he's lucky he didn't die. So I don't know. I would like for him to sit out the whole of 2020 and come back 2021. He might do, right, because there's COVID-19. He might be one of those boxers that, I don't know, everyone says he sells a lot of tickets now, so he might be one of those boxers where the gate receipts are too much to kind of have a behind closed doors fight, but it should be Danny Garcia on the return. White would do Ngannou 2-fight deal. I'll beat him in boxing and MMA. Yeah, I believe he will beat Ngannou in boxing. I've said this already. And MMA, I doubt he would beat him in MMA. Yeah, I doubt that at all. Ngannou is no worse than the third best heavyweight in the UFC. All right, you got Stipe Miocic, the champion. You got Daniel Cormier, who I think will beat Stipe in the rematch, by the way. But you got Daniel Cormier, and then you've got Ngannou. The thing about both of those two guys that I just mentioned is that both of them are excellent wrestlers. Ngannou isn't. Ngannou is a stand-up MMA guy, which basically means, for those people that don't know what that means he only punches and kicks. Even his kicks are very, very rare. Whereas Dillian Whyte, we know punches very well. He's a boxer, but has a kickboxing background. Now, I'm saying all this. I'm not saying that Dillian Whyte beats him. I am saying that I give Dillian Whyte a better chance in an MMA octagon than I do giving Ngannou in a boxing ring. That's all I'm saying. All right, Errol Spence on next 3 fights. Garcia, Pacquiao, then Crawford. Okay, sometimes I feel like we're just saying Crawford just because if you don't say Crawford as a welterweight now, people are going to label you a ducker, right? That's what's going to happen. Why is Crawford third on this list? I don't know. Why are you even chasing probably will then be 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao? I get it, the money, right? Pacquiao makes a lot of money. Does he? I still don't know if, like, does Pacquiao generate that much? I mean, on pay-per-view buys and all that kind of stuff, does he? I don't know. But look, if he fights that free and that's the free, then the final fight with Crawford will be an undisputed. That's hoping that Crawford maintains or retains, his belts as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I would prefer Garcia, Crawford, then question mark. That's what I would like. I wouldn't mind Pacquiao fighting Amir Khan or Mikey Garcia. I know Pacquiao beat Furman, but I don't know, man. I don't think that Pacquiao can still... How do I put this? He beat Furman, so it's wrong to say he can't hang with the young cats, but I think I've got little interest in seeing Pacquiao versus Spence or Pacquiao versus Crawford or even Pacquiao versus a Porter. I don't know. I don't have much interest in it, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I don't. What's this? Carl Frampton aims to be back end of July or early August. Obviously, this won't be against Jamal Herring. This will be against question mark because we don't know. I don't know, man. If I'm Frampton, you got. Then again, the performance against Tyler McCreary was very good. People might say, who was McCreary? McCreary at the time was an unbeaten fighter, right? You know, these unbeaten fighters are coming to the ring with a lot to prove. He was part of this, I think, the Gervonta Davis, Adrian Broner camp, right? So a very confident young man, and Carl Frampton handled that very well. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of who he could fight. That makes sense, right? You don't just want to fight anyone. This is the problem for these guys having these kind of interim fights now. You don't just want to fight nobodies, but at the same time, you want to test him fight. There's no point in just like might as well have a sparring match. What's the point, right? These fights are going to be behind closed doors. So you want someone that's going to, I don't know, give you some real good action. But at the same time, he doesn't want to risk that big fight with Jamal Herring. You don't want to mess that up. What's this? Jake Paul under heavy fire over taping content at Luton site. Why is Jake Paul? Because he had a couple of boxing fights for YouTubers. Why is he on like Boxing Scene's website? Come on, Boxing Scene. David Hay, Usyk Chisora not looking likely for a while. Need crowd for that fight. Yeah, I was going to speak about this in more depth because there is a story about Chisora saying he wants a Bellator fight. Chisora is obviously going to have an interim fight. That's what is going to have to happen. Now, there's two ways to look at this. This Usyk Chisora not looking likely for a while stance. We're hearing about Pulev Joshua. We've heard about that, right? Whether it means going to Croatia, fighting at Royal Albert Hall, we've heard something. We know Povetkin versus White is going to happen as well. I feel like an issue with Chisora and Usyk isn't just they need a crowd because Chisora feeds off the crowd. It's because of the money generated at the gate, right? I think that's quite important here. I can imagine, and look, this is just me speaking out loud, I could be so wrong, but I can imagine Povetkin and DILLIAN White are going to take a hit on the money they signed for the contract, right? They would have signed a certain amount, but that amount's going to not be what they're going to get. It's not. I feel like they've agreed to take a lower amount. Now, I don't know if Chisora is going to do that, especially with a manager like David Hay. I doubt Chisora is going to take a hit on what he's signed. So because of that, because I do think that Chisora has been offered to fight at the Matchroom headquarters. If look, what's a bigger fight? Povetkin White, Chisora Usyk, they're both to me as big as each other. So if Povetkin White is happening behind closed doors at the Matchroom headquarters, you would think that the same has been offered to Chisora Usyk. But I feel like Povetkin and White have agreed to take a hit on their money. I do. I just feel like Chisora and Usyk maybe haven't. So I don't think it's because Chisora requires a crowd or Usyk requires a crowd, because at the end of the day, money's money. I just feel like they've been offered maybe less money to fight behind closed doors and they've said no. That could be full bullshit what I've just said, right? That isn't in stone. That's just sometimes how I look at things. And I think that could be the case. I don't know, right? No one sue me. All right, moving on very swiftly. Tyson Fury aims to break bank with richest deal in boxing history. Maybe. Obviously, we saw the Forbes list that Tyson Fury was the richest boxer or richest fighter in 2020. I've been told by a number of people in the comment section that Forbes list is from June 19 to, June 2020, right? In that time, Tyson Fury had, was it 2 or 3 fights? I think it was 3. Why do I think it was 3? Why do I think Tom Schwartz, Otto Volin, Deontay Wilder, plus the WWE, plus the book sales? So I could see why he is ahead of everyone in terms of that money for that period, right? I think Joshua fought twice, Canelo once. So that makes sense. With regards to him breaking the bank with richest deal in boxing, it could be that back-to-back with AJ. We're hearing about it's 2 fights, possibly, I don't know, but that's what we're hearing. Now, if that's the case, you can understand how that would be mega money. But I doubt that would make him the richest, right? Because if he's fighting AJ, I expect AJ to get the same, if not more, if I'm honest with you. Maybe he's going to re-up with Top Rank. Wasn't his initial deal with Top Rank like a 5-fight deal? So maybe they're looking at another 5 fights. And let's be honest, Tyson Fury has grown his brand a lot since that deal was first signed. When that deal was first signed, I actually thought it was stupid. Now, in hindsight, maybe they saw something coming, right? That's why they're over there, and that's why we're sitting here. Jean Pascal, if Canelo wants to to claim a second title at 175, I'm right here. I don't think Canelo would fight Pascal. Not yet. Pascal's still got a lot left in the tank. He's not shot worn at all. His resurgence has been quite impressive. I think I spoke about it a couple of days ago, that this guy did retire, I believe, after the second Kovalev fight. And he's come back and he's putting in some good performances against the likes of Marcus Brown and Badu Jack, right? So there's a lot left in Pascal. Maybe a couple of years left. I know he's 37, but let's be honest, he looks like he's 30. In great shape. Anthony Joshua. I got beaten to a pulp, but I believe I'll go down as this generation's great. Don't know about that. That's it's close. I mean, I think that's him saying he will beat Tyson Fury. I think that's what he's saying. That's what I'm reading into it, because if we stop it right now, I think Tyson Fury is ahead of him, right? Just because of the Klitschko and the Wilder win. But obviously, if he's saying that, if he's basing what he's saying on the fact that he's going to beat Tyson Fury, then yeah, I think he will then, succeed Tyson Fury as the great of this generation. But that's a big if, right? It's a big if he beats Tyson Fury. It is. Can't wait for that fight to happen. Can't wait. I know I ranted the other day about AJ, you've got to make it happen, make it fucking happen. I can't wait for it to happen. And I pray to God it happens at Wembley Stadium. I pray to God it does. I doubt it will. Let's be honest. I doubt it will. Once the Saudi Arabians show their power and just say, oh, here's 100 million, come over here, then they're over there. But can you imagine that at Wembley Stadium? Can you imagine it? Honestly. They might have to try and build another section onto Wembley. They could sell, I was about to say a crazy number here. Ade, calm down. They could sell, I genuinely believe they could sell 300,000 tickets for that fight. If there was, obviously there isn't, but if there was a stadium that had 300,000 seater stadium, they would fill it. They would fill it. Am I wrong? Come at me if you think I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong at all. It would do 300,000. It could do more, but I'm going to sensibly say 300,000. That's how big a fight that is. But anyway, let's go back to a realistic number, 90,000. Can you imagine the noise of those two both walking out? Michael Buffer, Michael Buffer. Can you imagine noise when he starts reading out the belts and then do that first center of the ring? Kenny Bayless. It's got to be Kenny Bayless, isn't it? You're asking it, but it's got to be Kenny Bayless. Give the order. That feeling in your stomach. You know what I'm talking about? That feeling. That feeling. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine the bell go ding, ding? If I'm not at that fight, then I'm not a boxing fan. I'm not a boxing fan. Anyway, dreams might not come true. All right, Sean Porter, I guarantee a rematch with Spence will be a much better fight. I don't know how. I don't know how it can beat that, if I'm honest with you. That was, I think, my third best fight of 2019. I think I had, what did I have as number one? I think I had Inoue Donaire as number one. And then I had Taylor Prograis. What did I have? Spence. I think I might have had Spence, you know, Spence Porter. Then Taylor Prograis, then GGD, Darren Vachenko. So, bloody hell, if it's any better than that, then let's do it again. Let's roll the dice again. I doubt Porter will get another chance, if I'm honest with you, though. He's got to bring something to the table. That's why I say, take the Terence Crawford fight. Take it. Like, I would favour Terence Crawford to beat Porter, but we know Porter brings it. We know every time Porter steps up, he brings it. Furman, he stepped up. Garcia, he stepped up. We've seen it now. He steps up when he needs to step up. Might not win, but he steps up. So I think Porter needs to look at that and think, all right, the only way I get a Spence fight, and maybe even a Pac-Man fight, is if I bring a belt to the table. Who's got a belt? Terence Crawford. Linares, Lomachenko still best at lightweight. Don't think Lopez can beat him. Yep, that's true. We don't need to elaborate on that. What else we got? Sergio Martinez, ring return is not to chase Canelo, not looking for him. Then you shouldn't ring return. Just stay away. Stay away, please. All right, what's this? Chisora could make debut in Bellator if Usyk fight is postponed for too long. Yeah, we already spoke about this. To be honest, I doubt Chisora is going to have a fight in Bellator. I mean, he's just talking now, isn't he? Why have you got a fight in Bellator? Why can't you just have an interim fight? Like, why MMA? Why can't you just find someone to fight in between that makes sense? On the video I did yesterday, I kind of mentioned a couple of names. Oh, did I mention a couple of names? I was saying that he needs to fight someone of note, someone like a Marius Vac, not Marius Vac, someone like a Marius Vac, someone with some name value that we know, right? Marius Vac has been in there with, Marius Vac's fought for a world title. Like, he fought Vladimir, I believe. I thought he's fought for more than one world title, Marius Vac, but we know he's fought for a world title. But someone like that, not Vac though, I think Vac's got a bit too much to offer. We saw that. But someone in and around the top 50. This talk of Bellator, I mean, I like Chisora, but he would get smoked in Bellator. Smoked. Anthony Joshua doubts he'd get away with making statements like Fury. I hate when people do this. Like, when you compare yourself to someone, like, oh, but he done it, I can do it. No, you're two different people. Tyson Fury and AJ are two different people. I think Tyson Fury gets away with what he says now because it's just Tyson Fury. We just know that's his character. So when he says things, it's not even outlandish anymore because that's kind of what we expect. If AJ was to say the things that Tyson Fury says, because we know of AJ's character, of course he wouldn't get away with it because he's not Tyson Fury, right? Because that's AJ. It's just how it is. If Tyson Fury started acting like AJ, right, then we'd be like, well, what's going on with Tyson Fury? So it's just be who you are, accept who you are, not a problem. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. I don't know if that made any sense at all. I do apologise. It's still pretty early in the morning. What's the time? 8:50. Dillian White. Wilder is injured. WBC should order Fury to fight me next. Yes, they should. Standard, right? That's what should happen. If Deontay Wilder is injured, and we are hearing he is injured, then what's the problem, right? Move on to the next man. Look, personally, I think Tyson Fury would beat Dillian White. I think it'll be a good fight, by the way, a very good fight, because Dillian White will fucking bring it. But I think Tyson Fury will beat him. So, and then Deontay Wilder gets the crack at Tyson Fury. All right, that's what should happen. This is quite good for Deontay Wilder, if I'm honest with you. I think this long extra period of the fight not happening helps, because I think Deontay Wilder needs to work on a hell of a lot in order to beat Tyson Fury, a hell of a lot. So the idea of trying to rush him back to fight Tyson Fury, I think is actually detrimental to him. So I think give Dillian Whyte his shot, watch it, right? And hope that Dillian Whyte can put some dent in Tyson Fury for you. So Tyson Fury is almost softened, you know what word I'm thinking about, by the time he fights you next. But the WBC are clearly going to shaft Dillian Whyte again, clearly. And I know some people are going to say, oh, but he got his shot when we had his chance to fight for a world title when he turned down the AJ fight. We're not talking about the AJ fight. People need to stop bringing that up because that helps the WBC's cause. We're talking about the WBC. So forget that. I mean, I've done this as well. Forget the fact that he turned down an AJ fight in April. We're talking about a mandatory shot, not a voluntary, a mandatory. Do you know what that word means? Mandatory. All right. Haney eyes August return, says surgically repaired shoulder stronger than ever. Number one, Haney ain't fighting in August. I don't believe that for a second. Number two, is the shoulder going to be any better than it was before? Is it stronger now it's been repaired? I doubt that. It's a bit concerning when you are so young and you're already having these type of injuries, if I'm honest with you. He's young. I mean, he's had a lot of fights, 23, 24 fights or something. But I mean, longevity in this game requires you to be injury-free, right? I mean, you want to survive in this game, you got to be injury-free. Obviously, you don't want to take a lot of punches and punishment, but also be injury-free. Having surgery when you're only, 22, 23? Slippery slope to go down, people. Slippery slope. All right, Fury expects WBC to allow AJ fight before making mandated defense against Dillian Whyte. There's something, I don't want to say Tyson Fury is ducking Dillian Whyte. That would sound stupid. I don't think Tyson Fury would duck a man alive. He's just not that kind of character, is he? But there is something about him not wanting to give Dillian Whyte a shot. Because I remember, and fact check this if you want, I remember when, I think this was before the Otto Volin fight, right? And Dillian Whyte wanted to fight Tyson Fury. He was like campaigning to fight Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury was like, you don't have anything. Like, there is no belt. Why am I going to fight you type thing? And he says, if the WBC put a diamond belt on the line, I'll fight you, and then the winner will fight Deontay Wilder. I think that makes sense. The WBC agreed. Of course we'll put you know what WBC are like. I think they made Tyson Fury a Mayan belt. So of course they're like, yeah, we'll make a diamond belt for you, no problem. What happened? Tyson Fury went quiet, right? Didn't want it. Didn't want that fight, right? Again, you've come out, you said, make me a belt and I'll fight Dillian Whyte, and make that fight the number one contender to fight Deontay Wilder. The WBC agreed. Didn't happen. Before he won that belt against Deontay Wilder, he says, you know what? I'm going to give Dillian Whyte a shot because Dillian Whyte's been waiting a long time. Now, all of a sudden, it's like you're not getting a shot, right? He's made up things on Instagram and Twitter saying you're not getting your shot. It's going to be Deontay Wilder, then 2 fights of AJ. And I think he done a smiley or laughing emoji underneath that as well. So it's weird how it's gone from, let's fight, I'm going to give you a shot, to, nope, you're not getting your shot. Now, I agree with him, right? I mean, AJ fight and Undisputed should come, I think, before a mandated fight. I agree with that. But I feel like he's just changed his narrative a little bit here. Again, he was a lot of the talk beforehand was Dillian Whyte will get a shot. I will give him a shot. He deserves a shot. To, yeah, I don't want to give him a shot anymore. That's what it sounds like to me. Again, make of that what you want. Do I believe that he's ducking Dillian Whyte? No. I just feel like he's changed his stance a lot since he got that belt. A lot. All right, last couple of bits. Billy Joe Saunders, I would love to fight Canelo in an empty arena. That ain't happening. There's no way Canelo's fighting behind closed doors. I mean, that gate receipt money, and I keep talking about it, but it's true. That gate receipt money is way too big. Canelo's gate receipt money must be close to $10 million. Might even be over that. That would pay the opponent. Fact, right? That would pay Billy Joe Saunders and some. if I'm honest with you. Billy Joe Saunders says this as though he's the main, like he would have some sort of advantage, or maybe a slim advantage over Canelo in an empty arena, because I guess fighting Canelo, 95% of the public are going to be pro Canelo, right? So they're going to be making noise, it's going to be pro Canelo. I don't think Canelo gives a fuck about that, if I'm honest with you. I look at Canelo like a machine, like a robot. I don't think he's one that necessarily feeds off the crowd. I mean, he's Mexican. I mean, they're built differently. They're built differently. I mean, we need to. I know Canelo's a golden goose now, right? He's the man now. He wasn't. It's not like he's been hand plucked because he won an Olympic gold medal or World Championship gold medal. He's been fighting professionally since he was 16. I think it even could be 15, but legally in America it's 16. He's as hard as nails. So he's not the kind of person that, oh, I need to fight in a filled stadium or filled arena to kind of get going. Built differently. Like it's weird how I think we have this impression of him as though he's some sort of, don't know, soft fighter, or I don't know, like an empty arena is going to deter him from getting the job done. Canelo is a different kettle of fish. Where does that come from? Kettle of fish. What does that mean? Kettle of fish. Saying. Kettle of fish meaning. An awkward, difficult or bad situation. He's managed to get himself into a fine kettle of fish. Did I use it in the right context then? I'm not sure, but you guys know what I mean, right? Canelo's built differently. So if Billy Joe Saunders thinks that it will be he's the main because he's fighting Canelo behind closed doors, not quite sure. All right, anything else? Anything else? There's other little bits and bobs here, but I think we've gone on long enough, haven't we? Have we gone on long enough? We've gone on long enough. Peace.